Welcome back to the Football Don't Lie edition of the Ball Don't Lie podcast, where we talk all things NFL. And the NFL draft just concluded today afternoon. A lot of picks, a lot of talking points as always. We're gonna be giving our grades for each team. It'd be easier to go like by each team instead of going pick by pick because there's 259 picks. So we're gonna go through what each team did. We'll go in alphabetical order. Uh, yeah, and let's say Ape goes first, I'll go second. Tatis goes third, and Hudson goes last. And yeah, so the first team is the Arizona Cardinals. Now, their first pick was in round one. The 16th pick. They took Zaven Collins, linebacker out of Tulsa. If you guys don't know these players, you guys don't know the position, so you guys don't know like what they needed. Then they took Rondell Moore in the second round, wide receiver out of Purdue. In the fourth round, they took Marco Wilson, corner out of Florida. Then they took Victor Dimukije, an edge rusher out of Duke. And then in the same round, round six, they took shout out to Tay Gowan, corner out of UCF. And then James Wiggins, safety out of Cincinnati, and Michael Manet, center out of Penn State. And then they also picked up a tight end. So, what are your guys' thoughts about the Cardinals draft? And give it a grade if you are able to.
All right, I'm just going to make things clear. If I don't know anything about a player, I'm not going to say anything about them. So in regards to the Cardinals players, I'll just go in order of the players I know. Zaven Collins, great Sam linebacker, should fit in really well next to Isaiah Simmons. Rondell Moore, the receiver they needed because they just got two big Osat there and D-Hop and AJ Green. Marco Wilson has a tendency to get burnt, but his raw athleticism, he can get coached up and that can stop. Tay Gowan, absolute steal, JUCO transfer. I would have been all right if a team took him in the third round. And Michael Manet, a really reliable center. I watched a lot at Penn State. I'd give the Cardinals an A-.
Okay, wow. So I agree with a lot of things you said. I really love obviously I go to UCF. I watched a lot of Tay Gowan. Amazing pick. Really a steal for them. I thought he was at least a fourth rounder, fifth rounder. Um, I thought Zaven Collins was a bit of a reach. I thought they should have gone corner, but they did get two more corners. So I guess for the linebacker position, they got a linebacker. I mean, I was gonna say they should have taken JOK until I saw how far he fell. Rondell Moore, great slot receiver for them. I'm not too familiar with the other players. I know Marco Wilson. I watched UF, so like Ib said, he does have a tendency to get burnt. But I do think that them selecting two corners will give them assurance. Tay Gowan is I think a completely different corner to Marco Wilson. I would give the Arizona Cardinals a B plus. I think the Zaven Collins pick it was kind of questionable, but I mean if that's the guy they wanted, then you know I'm all for it. B plus for me.
A trend I'm noticing with the Cardinals, with their picks, is 5 out of the 7 picks were defense. That tells me they wanted to address especially their back end, corner, safety, corner. They did go linebacker with Zaven Collins, who I think has the potential to be a good player in this league. I really like the Rondell Moore pick. He was a heavy slept on receiver, I thought. And I'm glad they got him at 49 too. It's a nice play. But I'll give the Arizona Cardinals a B. It wasn't too special of a draft considering what they got, but they got positions of need and they needed defense. So I'll give them a B.
Well, yeah, I mean, like you said, the Cardinals took mostly defensive players, the only non-defensive players being Rondell Moore, who to me was the highlight of the draft, and also Michael Manet, who is a center in the 7th round, which won't be playing anything considering they picked up Rodney Hudson in the offseason. So I would just count it as one actual offensive player being Rondell Moore, who I think was a pretty much steal in the 2nd round. We know that they wanted a receiver. They were thinking about even moving up to take a guy like Jalen Waddle if he fell to their position. But instead, they end up with Rondell Moore, and I do not really like their 1st-round pick. I think Zaven Collins was a heavy reach. I think that they could have gone him possibly even in the 2nd round, or if not, maybe later in the 1st round, if they could have traded up maybe. But I don't really think it's too much. I think Rondell Moore might have been a steal, but it still doesn't really make up for the reach of Zaven Collins. So I'm going to give it a C.
Okay, next team. Did you want to say something?
Oh no, I was just about to start firing with the Falcons.
Oh, okay, my bad. Yeah. Let me read out the picks. Atlanta Falcons. Kyle Pitts with their 4th overall pick, tight end. Richie Grant. Shout out to Richie Grant. Safety from UCF. Jalen Mayfield, offensive tackle from Michigan. Darren Hall, corner from San Diego State. Drew Dahlman, center from Stanford. Taquan Graham, defensive tackle from Texas. At 10, Kubo, I'm not really sure how to pronounce his last name because it's not even like showing up on the screen, but he's a defensive end from Notre Dame. Avery Williams, corner from Boise State. And lastly, Frank Darby, wide receiver from Arizona State. Ip, go ahead.
The fact that this team has got Kyle Pitts gives them an A+. They could have drafted punters and the kickers for the rest of their picks. They still would have gotten an A+. He's gonna be a Pro Bowler this year. He's gonna finish with the best tight end in fantasy. I can guarantee you that. Richie Grant in the 2nd round was a head scratcher to some, I thought, because it's like if you're gonna get a safety, why not get Merrick? Trayvon Merrick's more of a one-trick pony where he kind of can just play the 1 high, the 3 high look, and he's kind of a deep zone guy. But Richie Grant gives you that versatility, come up in the box, maybe play some nickel corner. And getting Jalen Mayfield that late in round 3 was an absolute steal of a pick. People could have taken him in the 1st round, and I wouldn't be mad at it. And then in regards to other picks, I don't know much about them, so I'm not going to say anything. I give the Falcons an A+ because of Kyle Pitts.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, I'm gonna give the Falcons an A. I think Kyle Pitts is head up the most talented player in this draft. I think Kyle Pitts is he's a beast. I love Kyle Pitts. Y'all know I love Kyle Pitts. And Richie Grant, like I said, watched a lot of UCF. I also watched a lot of Michigan too. Because before I went to UCF, Michigan was my team. Jalen Mayfield it was like Abe said, was a steal. And yeah, I think they got a lot of guys that will be beneficial in that defense because they need a defense really really badly. I think Darren Hall. I don't know much about him, but he is a body on the defensive end. Taquan Graham, Avery Williams, and especially Richie Grant. So they addressed their defense with these picks. I know they got Kyle Pitts, but a lot of these dudes were defensive picks, apart from the some of the offensive linemen. So I'm gonna give the Falcons an A because I think they addressed the needs.
I hate this team with a passion. But in terms of drafting, I'll give them an A. In terms of fitting out their needs and positions, I'll give them a C. Because the problem is you got Kyle Pitts, fine. Yes, Kyle Pitts is a generational talent, agreed. But you needed to address your defense. And Richie Grant, it was as Ip said, it was a head scratcher, 240. But I felt that the Falcons could have traded down and gotten a corner, which they desperately needed. No, I'm not mad at the Panthers didn't get Pitts. I'm very happy with the J.C. Horn pick. But the Falcons really should have traded down to 9. And they should have gotten a corner because look, it doesn't matter. The Falcons will score at least 30 points a game. Confirmed. They will score 30 points a game every single game next year with that offense. However, they will also give up 30 plus points a game because that defense is atrocious. I just don't see what they're doing. I get it, 5 out of the 9 of their picks were defense, but it just doesn't matter to me. You didn't get a stud player in this draft. Now, Jalen Mayfield pick, I will agree. I thought he was almost a first rounder. You could have taken him in the first round. I wouldn't be mad either. But it just doesn't fit with me with the Atlanta Falcons. But in terms of drafting, I'll give him an A because they got Kyle Pitts. So.
Oh, wait, before Hudson goes, a lot of y'all said, I remember when we were doing the rumors, we said Julio might get traded. I remember you guys said they should go QB to reset. Did y'all think they should have gone Justin Fields or something like that at number 4?
No, they took the best player off the board. That's exactly what they should have done. So
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like one thing that a lot of people are saying is that you can get at least another year or two out of Matt Ryan. You take the best offensive player, some could argue, in this draft in Pitts, and then maybe next year, in 2 years, take another stud QB. I think next year was, I think, reported that it was supposed to be like one of the best classes of rookies ever. Like, there was going to be no trades in the top 10. Everybody's just going to keep their pick. It's supposed to be one of the best classes in history. So I think that the Falcons are not going to make the playoffs, and they could end up with another top 10 pick, and I think that that's when they could take a quarterback.
Oh, is it my turn? My bad. Yeah, okay, so let's move on to the next team, which is the Baltimore Ravens. So the Baltimore Ravens, I'm gonna read out their picks right now. They took Rashad Bateman, wide receiver out of Minnesota, Odafe Owe, edge out of Penn State, Ben Cleveland, guard out of Georgia, Brandon Stevens, corner out of Southern Methodist, Talon Wallace, wide receiver out of Oklahoma State, Sean Wade, corner out of Ohio State, Dalen Hayes, edge rusher out of Notre Dame, and lastly, Ben Mason, fullback out of Michigan. Ip, what do you think about the Baltimore Ravens?
The Ravens getting Rashad Bateman was a match made in heaven. There are concerns that he might not be there for him, but with the Giants taking Kadarius Toney, pretty much locked it in. Bateman's that true X receiver Lamar's needed ever since he gotten the reins in Baltimore. And it's Jason Owe, not Odafe. I don't know why it says Odafe. But very raw athlete. Needs to get coached up. Once he gets coached up, he'll be fine. Ben Cleveland, great guard. Blocked back there for Jamie Newman at times. Sometimes for Justin Fields. Sometimes for Jake Fromm. Tylan Wallace, another steal in the 4th round. Sean Wade, just like Marco Wilson, gets burnt sometimes, but the athleticism and ball skills are there. I'm going to give the Ravens an A-.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm just going to say quickly for Jason Owe. I think Jason is his middle name and Odafe is his first name. He said he wants to be called Odafe, so that's probably why they have it there. But Odafe Owe is Jason Owe.
Okay. Yeah, that clears it up because I didn't know who I know who Jason Owe is, but I don't know if Odafe Owe was like brother or something. But because he went to Penn State as well, but I guess it's the same person. Yeah, I think Rashad Bateman actually like really fits them to a T because they were looking for a receiver before the draft. It was reported that they were gonna for sure take a receiver with their one of their picks, and they did take Rashad Bateman. I'm a bit disappointed that they didn't get a linebacker. And they didn't need to replace guys like Matt Judon and Yannick Nagakue. So I think that overall, guys, I think Tylan Wallace, another really good receiver, and Jason Owe. If that's Jason Owe, I love that pick as well. But they didn't really address that linebacker spot that I would want to. And when I'm looking at the undrafted free agent signings, they haven't signed anyone. So I'm gonna give them a B-.
Correction to what Sua said. It's Yannick Ngakwe, not Nick Gawakwe. Just saying.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce his name, though.
All right. Anyways, point being, I thought the Baltimore Ravens were one of my top 5 winners of this draft. Absolutely nailed it with the first 2 picks. You get your stud receiver, Rashad Bateman, to fit. He's a big receiver. Exactly what Lamar needs right across from Marquise Brown. And Jason Owe was just sitting there for them at 31. Just absolutely sitting there, and they got him. Well, he's big, isn't he? He's 6 foot. How much does he weigh?
Who?
Rashad Bateman. I thought he was a pretty big receiver.
Yeah. Let me tell you right now. I have a pull.
He plays big, but he's not that big.
Rashad Bateman is 6. He's 6 foot 190. That's what someone said. That's what NFL.com says.
Same with ESPN.
209. It says 209 right here.
Really? It says 6.
Yeah, it says 190.
Yeah, same
on Google. It says 209.
That's weird.
But,
all right, Google's stupid. Let's go with the NFL numbers.
Okay, fine. Even if he's 190, he plays big. Like he plays like a go up and go get it type of player, and that's exactly what Lamar Jackson needed. And Jason Away was just sitting there for them at 31. I was so surprised that no one took him. He's just sitting there. Great draft for the Ravens. I'll give him an A for this. In fact, I might even give them an A+. They nailed it with the first 2 picks.
Yeah, I mean, we've all been talking about how the Ravens, their 2 needs, of course, being wide receiver, as they just didn't really have, and, of course, defensive edge, as they lost on, remind me of the names. Who went to the Patriots?
Mac Jones.
Judon.
In free agency. The edge.
Matthew Judon.
Yeah, Judon. And then they also lost on Yannick. So I think
Yannick Jason,
yeah, all right, sure. I think Jason Away at 31 is a great steal. Or maybe not steal, but I think that honestly probably was a steal. Rashad Bateman, I'm surprised he fell to 27. I'm surprised that the Giants did take Kadarius Toney, but also Ben Cleveland is a solid one. So I'm going to have to give them an A on this one, filling in the needs on the team.
All right, next team, Buffalo Bills. Took a lot of players, starting off with Greg Rousseau, edge rusher out of Miami. Boogie Basham, defensive end out of Wake Forest. Spencer Brown, offensive tackle out of Northern Iowa. Tommy Doyle, offensive tackle out of Miami, Ohio. Marquez Stevenson, wide receiver out of Houston. DeMar Hamlin, safety out of Pittsburgh. Rashad Wildgoose, cornerback out of Wisconsin. And finally, Jack Anderson, guard out of Texas Tech. The floor is yours.
If there was best name of the draft award, it goes to Rashad Wildgoose. That name's fucking dope. But other than that, I thought Spencer Brown was a great value pick. Carlos Basham and Greg Rousseau. Bills need edge. Rousseau's going to need to get coached up. Very raw athlete. Everyone says that, though. And Carlos Basham is definitely the more technically refined player. It'll be interesting to see if those two can become the day one starters on their respective sides of the edge for the Bills. I'm going to give them a B.
I'm gonna give them a B+. I thought, in the championship game that they lost to the Chiefs, they really lacked, a proper O-line. And I think Spencer Brown was a great pick. Tommy Doyle as well to help that O-line a bit. Greg Rousseau, I thought he was gonna go lower, but they took him a little bit higher, which is fine. I think he's a great edge rusher. And yeah, apart from that, I know Boogie Basham, he helps him on defense, but I don't know any of their other players. I'm gonna give them a B+ on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Ip here. I'm gonna give the Bills a B. The Gregory Rousseau pick though is really good because the problem was with them in that championship game is they could not get pressure on Patrick Mahomes, and that gets you another another edge rusher to bring the heat on Mahomes. Which would be very helpful for them. And they really didn't need to go on. They really didn't need to hit on other picks. Maybe go O-line, go a few depth positions of defense. And I thought they did really well with that. They did solid enough to help out their depth. And that's all they really needed to do because they made the conference championship last year. Now they just got to push through and beat Patrick Mahomes this year. And we'll see if they can do that. But in terms of drafting, I'll just give them a B.
Okay, so next team, let me pull up the team right here. Next team is the Carolina Panthers. Tatus, this is your favorite team. So, J.C. Horn, obviously, Terrace Marshall from LSU, wide receiver. Brady Christensen, offensive tackle from Brigham Young, BYU. That is. Shoot, I just switched to the next. Okay, yeah. Tommy Tremble, tight end, Notre Dame. Chuba Hubbard, running back from Oklahoma State. Davion Nixon, defensive tackle from Iowa. Keith Taylor, corner from Washington. Deontay Brown, guard from Alabama. Shi Smith, wide receiver from USC, South Carolina. And Thomas Fletcher, left safety from Alabama. And Phil Hoskins, defensive tackle from Kentucky.
All right, Tejas, you're going to love what I have to say. Ravens have won the draft. J.C. Horn, best defender in the draft. Yeah, Panthers won the draft. Did I say Panthers?
You said
Panthers
Ravens.
won the draft. Oh, I said Ravens. Oh, fuck, my bad. All right, J.C. Horn, best defender in the draft, best corner in the draft. Next Jalen Ramsey. I think that's a lock. Terrace Marshall in the second round. Bit of confusing why they went receiver there, but All in all, great receiver. Great steal at 58. If you would have told me that my birds, our first two picks were going to be J.C. Horn and Terrace Marshall, I would have nutted, but obviously didn't go that way. Most athletic lineman in the draft, Brady Christensen going next, and Tommy Tremble. They needed a tight end. They needed to sharpen the O-line. They got it right there in back-to-back third-round picks. Davion Nixon, phenomenal D-tackle. Keith Taylor, can't tackle for shit, but great in coverage. Chuba Hubbard, going to be a fun 1-2 punch with him and McCaffrey. Deontay Brown, absolute specimen of a human being. And the other three guys I don't know too much about. I'm pretty sure Shi Smith is like a slot guy, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Panthers A+.
Yeah, I'm gonna give the Panthers an A. I think I agree with almost everything that Ip said. Loved the J.C. Horn pick. I didn't think they were gonna go with him, but I'm so glad that they took him because he is, in my mind, the best corner in the draft. Brady Christensen in my mock went first round, so the fact that he fell to third round was kind of insane to me. Chuba Hubbard, same thing. You know, he was higher on my mock draft than the fourth round, 21st pick in the fourth round. Apart from that, Terrace Marshall, I don't know if they needed a wide receiver, but you know, by all means, he's a really good wide receiver to strengthen that core with alongside. I think Tay just said that one of the wide receivers was a free agent or something. So if he leaves, they do have him to fill in that spot. So yeah, I'm gonna give them an A. I think it was a dub of a draft for them.
Let me tell you guys something. Heading into the draft, I think the Panthers had a first, a second, 1/3, 1/4, 1/5, 2 6, and a 7. They ended up with a first, a second, 2/3, 2/4, 2/5, 3 6, and a 7. That's crazy, bruh. I like Scott Fitterer as a first-time GM did an insane job trading back, getting more picks, and picking up valuable positions at the spots. I'm gonna be honest. Day one, pick 8. All the Panthers fans clown this J.C. Horn pick because they wanted Justin Fields, or they wanted Patrick Surtain, or they wanted Rashawn Slater. Let me tell you this: J.C. Horn's the best corner in the draft. I watched him at USC. I think he's got his man-on-man defense is insane. He's got Jalen Ramsey potential. Like I just see it in him. Like last year, I went to the Alabama USC game. He got absolutely murdered by Devonta Smith, and I think that really changed him, and he became a really good corner. But other than that, Terrence Marshall, Robbie Anderson's a free agent, great pick. Brady Christensen, I really like that pick. I didn't think we were going to get a good tackle in the third round, but Philly just bumped us up, and we had to take Christensen there. And then Shuba Hubbard, I heard a story today of how Matt Rule's wife called him and told him to take Hubbard in the fourth round, literally 10 minutes before their pick. And honestly, him and McCaffrey are going to be a dangerous duo to stop. And I really like the other depth signings, but my favorite depth pick is Shi Smith. Shi Smith last year was insane. I watched him as a number one receiver go crazy. He'll make all the contested catches, and I think he'll be a great depth receiver. And he'll grow. If one of our receivers get injured, he'll be right there to replace. And I think Carolina clearly deserves an A, and they're one of my top 5 winners of this draft.
Well, starting off with their first pick, J.C. Horn is definitely, I wouldn't say a steal. I wouldn't really say a reach. It's just a really good pick in general. Terrence Marshall in the second round is a pretty, I would say that's a steal in the late second round, being the 27th pick in the second round. And then Brady Christensen in the third round, that maybe not a steal-ish, but that's definitely a really good pickup. And then Chuba Hubbard in the fourth round, that is a really, really nice pick. I can say that Hubbard and McCaffrey, it's going to be pretty fun to watch, honestly. Tommy Tremble, who they took Notre Dame, that's a pretty nice pick to fill in for the tight end spot. And they also took some more offensive guards, cornerbacks, and wide receivers. So the Panthers overall were a winner in this draft. They filled in most of their needs. Maybe defensive edge, but they also did pick up Hassan Reddick in free agency. So I'm pretty sure that they did fill in most of their needs in this draft and free agency. I would definitely give them an A.
Okay, to speed this up, I'm gonna just talk about I'm gonna mention the top 5 picks rather than all the picks for every team except for our favorites. We can talk more in depth about the Lions and the Eagles and the Dolphins. Obviously, Tatus's favorite team was the Panthers. Next team is Chicago Bears, one of my winners of the draft. Justin Fields, quarterback, Ohio State. Tevin Jenkins, offensive tackle, Oklahoma State. Larry Borom, guard, Missouri. Khalil Herbert, running back, Virginia Tech, and Daz Newsome, wide receiver, UNC.
Daz Newsome in round 6 is an absolute steal. People would have gotten him in the 3rd round. I would have been, that's an absolute steal. And the fact they got him in the 6th is very hot. Tevin Jenkins, I don't want to say it, but I might say he's a top 3 tackle in the draft. I don't know over who because I don't want to piss anyone off, but Tevin Jenkins is a top 3 tackle in the draft. Last time the Bears traded up for a QB, didn't work out too well. They traded the farm to go up one spot and take a shitter in Mitch Trubisky. They took Justin Fields here. Now, it's a high-risk, high-reward situation. I know they came out and said that Dalton's still going to be the starter, but if you want to keep Allen Robinson, this is the way to do it. I'll give the Bears a B+.
I'm gonna give the Bears an A. I love what they did. Very few teams would have had the fucking balls to trade up to 10 to take Justin Fields or 11 to take Justin Fields, and the fact that they identified their guy and said, I don't really care what we're giving up. This is our guy. We want him. I love teams that do that. And Justin Fields was their guy. I know. What's his name? Dalton is gonna start probably because he said that they promised that he was gonna start or some shit. But I think it's a great pick. Tevin Jenkins, steal. I think he was one of the steals of the draft. Definitely should have gone first round in my opinion. The fact that he fell so far. I mean, it was only the 7th pick in the 2nd round, but I had him as a top 20 pick, top 15 pick. So another steal. And then Daz Newsome, like Ip said, steal as well. So A for the Bears for me.
Yeah, this is another winner of the draft for me. Chicago trading up to get Justin Fields. Absolute massive pick. Really, that pick itself, being at 20 and trading up to 11 to get Justin Fields, that itself put the Chicago Bears as one of the winners of the draft. They clearly deserve an A or an A+.
Yeah, the Bears are definitely winners of this draft. First of all, taking Fields at 11, trading up, has to be the best trade of the draft, no doubt. If I were to have another top trade of the draft, it would definitely be the Bears trading up at the 2nd round to take Tevin Jenkins, who is somehow still on the board. And just, yeah, I mean, their top 4 picks were all from trades. I'm not sure if it was a draft day trade or maybe previous, maybe from the Khalil Mack trade or something. But, or that would be giving up picks. But Khalil Herbert, Daz Newsome is a definite steal, like you guys said. And Larry Borom was definitely a nice pick in the 5th round. And then, like I said, Tevin Jenkins was a steal. And Justin Fields was definitely one of the best picks in the draft. I would definitely give the Bears an A.
Okay, moving on to the next team, which is the Cincinnati Bengals. Obviously took Jamar Chase in the first with the 5th pick. Took Jackson Carman out of Clemson, guard. Joseph Asai, edge from Texas. Cameron Sample, edge rusher from Tulane. And Tyler Shelvin, defensive tackle from LSU, and as well as Dante Smith, offensive tackle from East Carolina. Ip, what do you think?
Looking at this draft, I knew they were going to go Chase at 5. Everyone says they should have gone Sewell. Like, you're right, but they could have gotten good value in the 2nd round with their tackle. And that's what they did. They got an offensive lineman. But they picked Jackson fucking Carman over Brady Christensen, over plenty of guys. I can't name them right now because I have a list in front of me. But Jackson Carman at round 2 was all. I'm not going to say that on YouTube. But Jackson Carman in the 2nd round was a stupid move. Joseph Asai was a great move. Sample was a great move. Kicker in the 5th round. We can see how it works out for him. The Jamar Chase pick was great. Osai pick was great, but the Jackson Carman pick just really pisses me off. I'm going to give the Bengals a C+.
this is one of my losers of the draft, and it's precisely the reason that Ip stated. Their offensive line, uh, absolutely. I mean, they did get Dante Smith and Jackson Carman, but as he said, Jackson Carman isn't shit compared to the other people that were on the board. If you don't want Joe Burrow to get killed, you got to protect him. So Jamar Chase, I mean, depending on who you ask, I would say it was a good pick if they took someone competent at the O line spot in the second round, but they didn't. So in my mind, they should have just probably gone Sewell, because if they're not gonna take a fucking good O lineman in the second round, then why did he go Jamar Chase? But I guess it was because Burrow really liked him because he played at LSU with them or whatever. But you gotta maybe they'll sign someone or something like that, but you gotta get some O lineman to protect Burrow. Otherwise, he's gonna get killed. So, um, I'm gonna give them a C minus. I'm not really a fan of their draft apart from Jamar Chase and Joseph Asai.
Yeah, this is sort of an L of a draft for the Cincinnati Bengals. The Jamar Chase pick I thought was really good because you need to appease your franchise QB. But the O line pick, see, that's the problem, and you know they really messed up. I feel like with their O line pick, but that's where it all brings it down for me. I'll give them a C for this draft.
I'm giving the Bengals a D. I mean, starting off with the Jamar Chase pick, just like, all right, you get the best receiver in the draft. Sure, you're reuniting his Heisman winning quarterback, or did he? I forgot if he won. He probably did win the Heisman, but come on. I mean, Sewell's on the board. Like, would you rather have a top receiver from this draft, or would you tear your ACL again? Or it's both going to happen. You're going to have the top receiver in the draft, but you're still going to get yourself injured. And then you take an OT in the second round, but it's literally one of the most garbage OTs that you could have taken in the fourth round, or even in the fifth round instead of a kicker. The kicker in the fifth round. I don't know what the Bengals are. Joseph Asai is a nice pick in the third round, I will say. But other than that, I mean, Jamar Chase is obviously a good pick, but with Sewell on the board, I just don't really understand why you go Sewell over. I don't understand why you don't go Sewell.
Okay, Dallas Cowboys. Ip, I know you probably have a lot to say about this team coming from an Eagles fan, but Micah Parsons, linebacker out of Penn State, Kelvin Joseph, corner out of Kentucky, Osa Udigizua, not sure how to pronounce his name, defensive tackle out of UCLA, Chauncey Goldston, defensive end out of Iowa, Nashawn Wright, corner out of Oregon State, and Gabriel Cox, linebacker out of LSU.
My favorite player in college football last year was Micah Parsons, and me being an Eagles fan and a Penn State fan and seeing him go to the Cowboys was a heartbreaker. Same shit happened when Saquon went to the Giants. I'm not going to sit around and say that Parsons is going to be a stud or not, but I will say that he's very new to the linebacker position. That's all I'm going to say. Kelvin Joseph was a stupid pick. Absolutely bonehead move taking him over. I think they took him over Asante Samuel, if my memory is not wrong. But that was an awful move. But Gabriel Cox in the fourth round was a fucking steal. And I can't even sit around and act like it wasn't. He's probably going to be a steal of the draft. And when I was watching the draft, the Simai Fehoko, the receiver they got from Stanford, I watched some of his stuff in the draft, and he looked like a nice jump ball receiver that they might have needed, might not have needed, but that dude could be good. And I'll give Dallas a B minus. Fuck Dallas.
I'm gonna give them a B. I love everything they did except for the Kelvin Joseph. I think that was boneheaded as hell. Expect like the fucking you took him at the 12th pick in the second round. Like that's high as hell. And yeah, like Abe said, Asante Samuel was on the board. But Jabril Cox, I mean, he was another guy like JOK who really fell, and I'm not sure why. He fell like a lot actually. I think he was projected to go second round. So I mean, the fact that they got him was a steal. And I think Micah Parsons was a great pick for them as well. I had him going to the Cowboys in my mock. So yeah, I'm gonna give them a B.
let me tell you guys something. Okay, the Cowboys are at 10, right? And they were supposed to stay at 10. Except the problem was the two corners that they thought they had a chance at were both taken off the board. So they had to trade down and take Parsons, a linebacker. And the problem is they already have two good linebackers. Well, two regressing linebackers on their team. Leighton Vander Esch can't stay healthy, and Jalen Smith just doesn't have that same burst. So I guess the Micah Parsons play was good. Kelvin Joseph was not a good pick. Just straight up, like a straight reach. Just no. I will say though, good depth signings. I'm sorry, good depth picks. Gabriel Cox. My favorite pick though, Israel McQuamu from South Carolina. I watched him. Where was the one Georgia game last year where we upset Georgia in Georgia, and he had 3 interceptions that game and just took over, absolutely just shut down Georgia's passing offense, and he took over the game. He had a pick 6. He was just on fire. He's got that type of potential. I really like that pick from Dallas, but other than that, I give him a B.
I'm going to be honest, Dallas actually did a pretty nice job in this draft. I mean, now honestly, now that I'm looking at it, maybe not too much. Micah Parsons, all right. I think that number 12 pick had to have set some record. Went from, the 49ers to the Dolphins to the Eagles, then to the Cowboys. After that, Kelvin Joseph, maybe not the best pick. Gabriel Cox in the 4th round had to be a nice pick, but they're both but they also did take Parsons, which I don't really understand. But I think if Gabriel Cox falls all the way to the 4th round and he's on the board, you might as well take him. Maybe even some trade value. I wouldn't be surprised if he I wouldn't be surprised if he got traded today or last night, but I guess not. But I mean, Gabriel Cox and Micah Parsons, I think, are the highlight of this draft. But they're both linebackers. I'm not sure if they're going to be starting both. But Leighton Vander Esch, like we talked about, I think a couple last episodes, he's on the last year of his contract, so I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they let him go and just ran it with Gabriel Cox and Micah Parsons.
Okay, next team, Denver Broncos. Interesting draft for the Broncos. They did take Patrick Surtain at number 9. Javonte Williams from North Carolina, running back at pick number 35. Quinn Miners, I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name. Center. Baron Browning, linebacker out of Ohio State. Caden Stearns, safety out of Texas, and Jamar Johnson, safety out of Indiana.
By just looking at the players this team selected, I can tell that they are a big fan of sticking to their board. Surtain might not have been the biggest need, having just signed Ronald Darby and Kyle Fuller, and having Bryce Callahan come off his best season as an NFL player. It's a head scratcher. Why go Surtain? It's because he was best player on their board. They run a lot of 4 cornerback sets. Javonte Williams, they might not need a running back. They had Melvin Gordon, but they stuck to their board. They even traded up for him. They liked him that much. Quinn Myers, we'll see. He played D3. Dominated Senior Bowl, don't get me wrong, but we'll see. Baron Browning, great pick. Caden Stearns, great pick. Jamar Johnson, great pick. Seth Williams, great pick. I don't know if you heard that far or not. My bad. Kerry Vincent was a steal. I really wanted the Eagles to get him. We didn't, but we got. I'll save it for the Eagles. This team stuck to their board, so doing that, I'm going to give them an A-.
Okay. As far as the picks are concerned, I guess they're good picks for like what they needed. But the shit that led up to the picks is why I'm going to give them a C. The fact that they traded, for Teddy Bridgewater to be their franchise or starting QB or whatever was absolutely head scratching for me, because I thought they would really try to get a QB in this draft, like a Justin Fields or whoever it may be. The fact that they took that they traded for Teddy was kind of a head scratcher. And now they have 2 below average QBs, Teddy and Drew Lock, on their team. It's kind of an L to me. But as far as their picks are concerned, I thought they had a good draft. I guess I'll give them for the picks itself, I'll give them a B+. But for the shit that led up to them, I'm gonna give them a C.
If this team had a quarterback, I'd give them an A for this draft. However, they passed up on Justin Fields. So I'll give them a B. Other than that, I really like this draft for them. Patrick Surtain. Javonte Williams is one of my favorite running backs to watch in high school. When I was a high schooler, he was one of my favorite running backs to watch. And I just like these depth picks from them. I just really think they'll pan out. The Patrick Surtain one, they got a lockdown corner to fill out that AJ Boye void that they had. And we'll see how the Broncos go. Maybe, but I will say, the plan might have changed for them once the Aaron Rodgers the rumors came out about Aaron Rodgers. Maybe they decided.
Yeah, that's true, bro. But after that, they said the report came out that they were no longer interested in trading for Aaron Rodgers.
I didn't see a report about that.
Yeah,
I saw a report saying they were close.
I saw one saying that they pulled out of talks or some shit.
There was millions of rumors. There was one rumor I think during the draft literally saying that the Aaron Rodgers deal was done but just not official, and then I literally went out to the next story saying that the Broncos are no longer in trade talks. I'm just gonna assume that the Broncos are not in trade talks right now.
I don't know. I'm gonna assume that they still are. They still might be, but that could be a possible option. But I think the main reason why the Teddy Bridgewater trade happened was so they could have someone to bring competition, and maybe Drew Lock would somewhat unlock his potential now knowing that he had some competition at the QB position. I don't know. But other than that, I'll give him a B for this show.
Well, the Broncos are my secondary team, and I don't even want to let you know how my desk is doing after seeing the Patrick Surtain pick. I'm just so confused why they didn't take Justin Fields. I mean, even you could throw in Mac Jones. Like, even if you took Mac Jones, I wouldn't even be that mad. Just, why didn't you take a quarterback? I mean, Surtain, obviously, don't get me wrong, is a stud. One of the best defensive players in this draft. But, I mean, if you need a quarterback, you need a quarterback. I just don't understand the pick. Javonte Williams, I think, is a really nice steal. Took him from my team. Maybe not a steal, but it was taken from my team. Quinton Menners, I'm not trying to pronounce that, was definitely a nice pick in the third round. And Caden Stearns was also a pretty nice pick in this fifth round. They did take 2 straight safeties in the fifth round, which I'm kind of confused about. But, overall a pretty decent draft from the 49ers. The picks were nice, but just, position-wise, taking a QB-wise,
Broncos.
not too great.
Yeah, the Broncos. You said not the 49ers.
Yeah, Broncos, I mean.
All right, next team, my favorite team, the Detroit Lions. Penei Sewell, tackle out of Oregon. Levy Onwuzurike, defensive tackle out of Washington. Alan McNeil, defensive tackle out of NC State. Ifeatu Melifonwu, corner out of Syracuse. Amon St. Brown, wide receiver out of USC. Derek Barnes, linebacker out of Purdue. And Jermar Jefferson, running back out of Oregon State.
Lions drafted a first ballot Hall of Famer in the first round. We're not going to lie about that. Sewell's going to be the next Anthony Munoz. Levi Onwuzurike, I mean, based off what Dan Campbell said, wasn't it smash mouth, something shit football? Looks like that's what he's going for.
Yeah.
Melifonwu, he's not just a corner, he's a DB. He can line up anywhere in the secondary, and he'll do a good job for you. Amon-Ra St. Brown, if a team had picked him in the second or third, I would have been that's a stupid pick. But getting him in the fourth was tremendous value. That being said, I'm going to give the Lions an A.
Man, I absolutely love this draft for my Detroit Lions. I think this is probably the most excited I've ever been after a draft. Penei Sewell, I'm still kind of in disbelief that he fell to us. The fact that so many teams passed up on him. But we'll take it. And I think the plan was to build from the trenches since we're a rebuilding team. And I think that's what you have to do. The foundation has to be built, and then you can add, flashy players like the receivers, and that's what we did. We added Amon St. Brown in the fourth round, and then we got two receivers in the undrafted free agent list with Jonathan Adams and Sage Surratt. So I think we really I think we really took advantage of this draft. I really love the defensive tackles. Anu Sarika and Ali McNeil are two guys that are they're just guys that are really, really physical and athletic. Melifonwu was actually probably the best corner available then, and I think he probably should have gone a little bit earlier. So the fact that we got him at 101, when he was projected to go like 60 or 60 or 70 was really, really good for us. And I loved the Jamar Jefferson pick. Was the only one that I was like, at first I was like, why? Because we do have DeAndre Swift and Williams and Kerryon Johnson, but I think it's just for running back depth, which I understand. And Derek Barnes needed a linebacker, so I love this draft.
I thought the Lions did a solid job. Penei Sewell, that pick itself should give the Lions an automatic A. They've done a really good. They did a really good job, especially for a rebuilding team. And as you mentioned, Sue, as a rebuilding team, you need to build from the foundation, and the foundation begins at the offensive line and defensive line. And that's exactly what the Detroit Lions did here. Excellent job. I'll give them an A.
Yeah, the Lions definitely did a really good job with this draft. First of all, obviously has to be one of the top picks in the draft, being Penei Sewell at 7. And then 2 straight DTs, I guess, in the second and third rounds. Kind of questionable there, but Stud and Leo O in the second round. And having Amon-Ra St. Brown fall to you in the fourth round is a pretty nice play, or steal, I should say. And then Derek Barnes also being taken in the fourth round is a really, really nice pick. It seems like the management this year kind of knows what they're doing. It's looking decently good for Detroit. Now the question is, will they be tanking? I mean, there's been rumors before that they could be tanking this year, but after this draft, I don't really know if they're going to just be tanking.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see what the Lions do. So let's move on to the next team, which is the Green Bay Packers. So Packers fans, I might just give you guys an F because I hate the Packers. But Eric Stokes, corner out of Georgia, Josh Myers, center out of Ohio State, Amari Rodgers, wide receiver out of Clemson, Royce Newman, guard out of Mississippi, Tadaro Slayton, defensive tackle out of Florida, and Shamar Jean Charles, cornerback out of Appalachian State.
I used to be a bit of a Packers stan because of Clay Matthews back in the day. So, like, there's a part of me that still wants to see this team succeed. But after looking at this draft, it's just fucking trash. Like, there's just no getting around it. Like, yeah, Stokes can be all right, but Tyson Campbell was there, and he's the better corner out of the Georgia two. Josh Myers, sure, he could be good. Quinn Miners was there. Deontay Brown was there. Yeah, I just said Deontay Brown. Amari Rodgers, Cornell Powell's there, Josh Palmer's there, Amon-Ra St. Brown's there. Plenty of receivers better than Amari Rodgers were on the board at that pick. And the rest of these guys, I'm not even going to sit around and act like I know who they are, but they were drafted on day 3. So, like, call me an idiot if you want. They're at day 3 picks. They're not going to do anything meaningful this year unless they're, like, insane. But I'm giving the Packers an F, and it pains me to do so.
Yo, first time that me and Ip are gonna give 2 Fs here. Not only because I hate the Packers, I just didn't really know like what the hell they were trying to do. Eric Stokes was like the most confusing pick. Asante Samuel was there, and I'm pretty sure someone else was there. I think it might have named who it was. I forgot who it was, but he got taken shortly after. Yeah, Amari Rodgers, kind of head scratching when you had guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown available. I don't know. They're gonna have to. I think they're probably in their mind more concerned about the Aaron Rodgers situation. But still, that draft was an L in my eyes.
Yeah, this draft it's tough for the Packers, knowing that Aaron Rodgers might be on the move. And they didn't even try to help him until the third, getting Amari Rodgers. It was in the first round. I mean, are you kidding me? Like you could have gotten like a JOK or even better corner, and you went with Eric Stokes. Aaron Rodgers are in a heap of trouble, and they address weapons, getting weapons for him. So I mean, maybe that's why. I have to agree with you. I'm giving the Packers an F.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give the Packers an F here. But I will give them a D minus, which I'm just gonna hop on it. I'll give them an F too. Listen, we saw the Aaron Rodgers stuff right before the draft, or a day or two before the draft, or whatever. It might have been the day of the draft, to be honest. And we thought, hey, maybe if they do well this draft, maybe it could possibly mean Aaron Rodgers could change his mind. Typical Green Bay, it's the same thing. Has the 29th pick, I think, exactly in this draft because they lost last year in the NFC Championship, if I believe. And they take Eric Stokes, one of the worst picks in the draft, going back to last year, trading up, not even just taking them where they were, trading up in the draft. I mean, thank goodness Miami was smart enough to do this. Letting them trade up in the draft to take Jordan Love. Now, if Aaron Rodgers does end up leaving this offseason and Jordan Love goes on to be a Pro Bowler, I will take back every single thing I said about the Packers. But unless Jordan Love is a Pro Bowler this year, or his first year in the NFL, I'm going to say that the Packers are stupid. Amari Rodgers, I think, is honestly a pretty good pick. But I think Rashad Bateman, they could have probably tried trading up a pick or two, or three, I guess, to trade for Rashad Bateman and pick him up. But Amari Rodgers in the third round, I will admit, is not too bad. He did play with Trevor Lawrence his whole entire career at Clemson, and he's going to be playing with the former MVP unless he ends up leaving. Then I'll have to play with Jordan Love. So it's going to be interesting to see how things go in Green Bay. But let's say that the Packers, that this draft is not a good start to try to get your reigning MVP to stay with you. I'm just gonna carry this over right now to the Texans. For Houston, first round, or actually they did not have a first round pick this year. That went to Miami, which was traded to the 49ers and all that. So their first pick was actually in the third round, which they took Davis Mills. Another third round pick, they took Nico Collins. In the fifth round, Brevin Jordan, tight end. In the fifth round, they took Garrett Wallow, who's an inside linebacker, and Roy Lopez in the sixth round.
All right, fuck what round they picked him in. The first player the Texans picked in the draft was a quarterback. What does that tell me? Tells me that they're not confident in Deshaun's court case, right? I mean, who could? Like, that many women say that you, like, tried to touch him, or not really touch him. I don't know. I'm not going to get into sexual harassment right now. It just shows that they're not confident in Deshaun's ability to get back on the team. Nico Collins is a great pick. Garrett Wallow is a great pick. Brevin Jordan was projected second or third round, but his spring and pro day was pretty poor. I mean, when you don't have any day one and you only have one day two pick, it's kind of hard to have a good draft. They had 2 day two picks with Collins. I mean, just hard for them to have a good draft. I'm going to try to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm just going to give them a B.
Yeah, my bad. I was actually talking with my mic off, which was kind of embarrassing, but yeah, what I was saying when my mic was off was that Davis Mills doesn't look too good for the Deshaun Watson situation. They're apparently like a lot of people in the Texans camp are not confident that he's gonna be able to play football or NFL for the rest of his career. Kind of sad, especially because he had MVP potential in my opinion. But I thought the rest of their pieces were good draft picks, and if Deshaun Watson is going to be not playing anymore, then Davis Mills I guess was a good pick as well. So I'll give him a B plus.
Bro, I have a legit question. Who are the Texans receivers right now? Brandon Cooks.
Literally nobody.
Randall Cobb, Kiki QT.
Kiki 30 something. I don't know. Kiki QT is nice. I really those weapons are gonna suffice Deshaun Watson. I mean, I get it. Deshaun Watson might want to leave. He doesn't want to play in Houston. So you gotta take a quarterback. David Mills. You kidding me right now? I mean, when did Kellen Mond
the Vikings traded up right ahead of the Texans and took Kellen Mond.
Yeah.
With the pick right before.
I'm pretty sure the Texans had a plan to take.
They were going to take Mond 100%, but then the Vikings definitely knew that, and they're like, you know what, go fuck yourselves and your sexually harassment QB. We're taking Mond because Kirk Cousins is a bitch. I had my middle fingers up that too for effect.
Yeah, I agree in the same thing, but David Mills, come on, man. If that's the best you can do, like you might as well tank this year, and now that you have your first round pick next year, get another QB. I mean, I don't know. I just think the Texans are in such a downfall right now. Like, to think that this team was in the divisional round, had a 24-0 lead. It's crazy. It's crazy. But
yeah, I mean, you were saying before with the 24-0 lead, including the fact that it was against the Chiefs.
This is another F for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna be agreeing. It's definitely an F2. Just already considering that you made a trade for your first pick in the draft being the third round, considering you were one of the worst teams in the NFL, your first pick was in the third round, and you had to take Davis Mills. I don't even know what to say about this. It's just an F. That's it.
Okay, so next team is the Indianapolis Colts. Started off by taking Kwity Paye, edge rusher out of Michigan. Dio Odingbo, defensive end out of Vanderbilt. Kalen Granson, tight end out of Southern SMU. Sean Davis, safety out of UF, and Sam Ellinger, quarterback out of Texas.
Looking at this Colts draft class, I thought there were a lot of positions that they needed to address, and they just didn't. They needed to take a receiver, and they didn't. They needed to take an offensive tackle because Anthony Costanzo retired. They did, but super late.
They took a receiver, Mike Stratton.
Yeah, in round fucking 7. Like, who cares? He went to a D2 school. I mean, I played D2, so I can't really shit on it. But, like, the NFL part of me is like, you needed a tackle, you needed a receiver. I get that this team definitely stuck to their board, but, like, with your first and second round pick, you need to address a team need. So they're getting an F, and I used to be a Colts fan too because my dad was. So it doesn't really pay me to do this because fuck Carson Wentz, but like F.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a D. The Kwity Paye, I'm a big fan of, but not for the Colts. I thought he would have fit on another team much better. They probably should have taken a receiver a little bit earlier, and they did not. I wouldn't even be. When did? Oh shoot! Kadarius Toney got taken right before. But even a guy like whoever I forgot who did the Ravens take at 27?
Bateman.
Yeah, Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman could have gone to the Colts. It may have been a little bit of a reach, but it still fits a team need. So They probably could have taken someone else at that spot. I'm gonna give him a D.
Am I lagging, or can you guys hear me clearly?
I can hear you.
Okay. So with the Colts, actually, I'm gonna give them a B plus here. I thought they did a solid job drafting. I mean, I forgot what exactly the picks were, but I believe they did a very solid job. Didn't they get Sam Ellinger too, or something like that?
Yep, I just sent the picks.
Yeah, Sam Ellinger. But besides that, Sean Davis, really good player, I think. I thought they did a solid job. I mean, all of these are solid players. Quiddy Pay, that pick was really good. Other than I will say the one thing about Quiddy Pay is they need to teach him other moves besides Bull Rush. But he'll learn. But good picks by the Colts. I'm gonna give him a B.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a good draft by the Colts, filling in most of the team needs. Being, I mean, maybe not all. Offensive tackle, I think, are pretty good. They took one in the 7th round. That doesn't really matter. Kwity Paye in the 1st round is a dub for sure. The fact that he fell to them at 21 is a dub. And then they also took Odeyingbo in the 2nd round. That's also a nice pick. Tight end situation was pretty much maybe not fully filled, but Kylan Granson will fill it for now. And I honestly kind of expected them to take a receiver higher up, maybe in the 3rd round or 2nd round, maybe. But I think Odeyingbo was a pretty nice pick. I thought that maybe they would trade it up in the 3rd round to take, I don't know, even a receiver like Amari Rodgers, or I don't even know, but some type of receiver, because the Colts don't have too many weapons. But Sam Ellinger, obviously, there's going to be people saying stuff about Wentz, but it's just because they did lose on Jacoby Brissett this offseason, so they're just filling that backup role with that. And the Colts did have a pretty good draft. I'm going to be giving them we'll say B.
Okay, next team is a team that had the 1st overall pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Obviously took Trevor Lawrence, took Travis Etienne, 25. Tyson Campbell, 1st pick of round 2. Walker Little, at the 13th pick of round 2. Andre Cisco, 1st pick of round 3. And Jay Tufel, 4th pick of round 1. 1st pick of round 4.
Wait, what team is this? I wasn't paying attention.
Jags.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I don't really think we need to talk about Trevor Lawrence because we all know it was an A+ of a pick. I mean, we knew he was going to be the 1st pick in the NFL draft ever since he committed to Clemson. Let's not bullshit. ETN, weird pick, but they probably stuck to their board. Everyone's saying like, oh, they have James Robinson. He's a power back. ETN gives you everything James Robinson can't give you, and Robinson gives you everything ETN can't give you. Still work together, similar to Hubbard and McCaffrey. Walker Little, that was a great pick. Tyson Campbell, when they picked him with that 1st pick in the 2nd round, I was very surprised because I wanted the Birds to get him so bad. And then he got picked, and I was just completely frustrated. So, with all that being said, it's nice. Wait, didn't they get Cisco too? Someone confirm?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, the A+. A+. That's all. A+.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give them an A+ simply because they took fucking Trevor Lawrence. But even after that, I absolutely loved the Walker Little pick. Walker Little, in my mind, was a 1st round. And the fact that they got him at 45 was a steal. So A+ for me.
Yeah, I mean, just because they got Trevor Lawrence, I mean, I think this is an A+. I mean, best quarterback. The ATN pick is a little confusing for me, but Walker Little was a good pick too. But it's because they got Trevor Lawrence. This is an automatic A+.
Yeah, I mean, we can definitely. I'm going to give them starting off an A-. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence already boosted them up to an A in general. Tyson Campbell, I think, is a good pick in the 2nd round. The 1st pick, cornerback, taking care of that situation. And also, Walker Little is a great pick in the early 2nd round. I'm pretty sure that they traded up. I can't remember which team it was, but it doesn't really matter. The rest of the picks were really nice too. Travis Etienne, though, I don't really understand it. you already have a running back. Like, you don't need a running back. James Robinson is a stud who had to be top 3 in offensive rookie of the year conversations. I'm guessing it was Herbert, Jefferson, and Robinson. But James Robinson, who?
Jonathan Taylor was third.
Okay, I know that Tristan Wirfs was actually on there too somehow, or not really somehow. He's a stud, but James Robinson is also a stud. I think that he was. I don't. Now, we were talking about before how Travis Etienne might be able to play receiver or something, but I think that they already have enough receivers as they got another one in this draft too, in the 6th round, but still a receiver. And I think that they could have drafted a top OT. Possibly, you could have drafted Tevin Jenkins at number 25. So I don't really understand the Travis Etienne pick. Maybe reuniting teammates and stuff, but other than that, I don't really get it. A- for them though.
Okay, and then we will be doing the Kansas City Chiefs, which is the 16th team, and then we will be doing a part 2. So stay tuned for that. The Kansas City Chiefs are obviously a very good team already, but they did add to their team in the 2nd round, particularly taking Nick Bolton, linebacker out of Missouri. Creed Humphrey, I thought was a great pick, center out of Oklahoma. Joshua Kando, defensive end out of FSU. Noah Gray, tight end out of Duke. Cornell Powell, wide receiver out of Clemson, and Trey Smith, guard out of Tennessee.
The NFL fucked up. The NFL fucked up, allowing the best team in the NFL to get 2 first-round guys that late in the 2nd in Nick Bolton and Creed Humphrey. And then they got the technically sound route runner that this team always needed in Cornell Powell. The Chiefs get an A+, and it's just they're gonna have no holes next year. They got Orlando Brown, they got Joe Thuney. Like everything they were bad at, they got significantly better at. And they should have won the Super Bowl last year, bearing in mind that their 2 starting tackles got injured. So this team gets an A+, and I wouldn't be surprised if they go 17-0. So yeah, A+.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him an A+ as well, man. Creed Humphrey, I thought was a steal of the draft. That boy, I had him going to the Steelers at 25, and the fact that he went at 63 to the Chiefs, absolutely insane to me. But yeah, like Ip said, y'all did not have to make the Chiefs get even stronger, and unfortunately, Andy Reid, the Chiefs front office did an amazing job especially with their 2nd round picks. A+.
I think I was gonna do my Hudson impression.
Well, for the Chiefs, I'm definitely going to say that they obviously didn't have the 1st round pick. Instead, they got a much better offensive tackle in Orlando Brown Jr., so I definitely don't blame them for making that trade. Nick Bolton is a pretty nice pick in the late 2nd round. Most of the picks are in the late rounds because obviously they're the top team in the NFL. But Nick Bolton was a pretty nice pick in the late 2nd. Linebacker, that is a pretty nice take there. And then defensive end, they did also take care of a little bit less than linebacker Joshua Kando. I guess Creed Humphrey is one that I kind of like. Getting a new center there. They were trying to get Trent Williams. If they could, they would definitely go 17-0. But I think Creed Humphrey can play center for them, so it's a pretty nice draft overall for them.
Okay, and on that note, we will wrap up the first part of the grades for the draft. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. As always, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Part 2 will be out very, very shortly. We'll see you guys later as always. Peace.